Okay, so hopefully you can see this. It's quite hard to record. I'll turn the camera around and explain what I am doing. So as you can see, the Mini is on its side, and done all the main floor, and I'm now at the back end of the car. So this inner arch was looking really bad, so I've cut all of that out. Now the problem I have is this whole corner's gone here. Obviously I've cut the valance off as well, and I've got quite a lot of damage here. This area underneath the rear lights is a bad area. Even this little area up here isn't very good. So what I need to do is make sure I do not lose the datum where the rear of the subframe mounts. So yeah, it's important that I keep those two holes in the same place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tub welded in. That's not too hard. Just have to make sure it lines up with all of these edges and all the way around here. Once the tub's in, I'm going to make sure this is welded correctly onto it, whilst also keeping those bolts in to keep the holes in the right place. Once that's done, I'm then going to cut this section out here, repair that. Once that is done, I can then do potentially the whole boot floor all the way down. It's only up to about here, so I've got all that. I've then got a panel which is, where is it? Here it is. So I've got the panel that goes in there, which closes the valance off and goes at the rear of the inner arch. So yeah, I've got all the panels, it's just putting them in the right sequence so I do not lose where those two holes are. So I've had a good couple of hours. That is now nicely welded into place. So the next bit of the puzzle for me is to get this bracket into place, get it lined up with the holes and get it welded on the side and there. So once that's welded into place, I can then strip out this bit, and I won't worry about losing the position of the holes because it's in this bracket here. Okay, so here is the progress. As you can see, I have welded that bracket into place, so that kept the holes in the correct place. I then cut out the floor that was all damaged. And the next problem that I had was the repair panel wasn't particularly good, and the key thing is it is a repair panel, and what that means it's only due. So what that means is it's only meant to repair an area, not properly replace it. So there is no lip which joins on there or underneath there, and obviously because of the damage it's missing that area there. So what I've decided to do is make my own panel, and here is the one I've made. It's got that lip there and it's got that lip there, so that fits nicely into there. So that panel fits nicely into there, and I'll be able to squish all that into place down there, and the holes are still in the correct position. However, before I do this bit, I really want to address this little bit up here. So to repair this bit up here, you can get a repair panel. That's not how I do things. So what I've done is I've cut a little piece of plywood, or two bits actually, and that fit it nicely into that area. And then I've cut a bit of metal, sandwiched the bit of metal between two bits of wood, and I've bent over the edges. So that panel now fits nicely on there. So I should be able to cut that bit out, get that all nicely lined up, and then that will give me a datum along here. So the next part after I've repaired that area will be to do all this area down here. But to do that area down there, I'm going to have to clamp the floor into place, and that's why I want to do this bit first, because that will give me a bit of a datum at the front. So I'm ready at this stage. I've cut out all the old rust and I've made my panel, and that fits nicely into there. So I'm going to weld that into place. I can also weld along where the arch is. I won't weld on the seam as yet because I've got to do that bit under the light. So that is my next job. Right, that's now welded in, so I can now position the floor back into place and get that panel out. I'm happy with that repair though, that went really well. Right, as you can see I have cut out all the rust and damaged area, and that panel fits in quite nicely. I've put the floor back on so it should be in line and everything looks good. So now I've got to take it all apart again and then put all the zinc etch weldable primer on, and then I can weld that panel back in place. Then it'll be time to get the floor in, which will be a really good point to stop at. Like all of these repairs, you tend to do 90% of preparation, cutting, grinding and so on, and then 10 seconds of glory basically. So that's that new panel welded in. I haven't ground down the welds, so you can see what I've done, what my welding's like, and feel free to criticise if you like. I'm quite pleased with that. That should grind down nicely. Because it's a lap joint, I might put a few tacks on the inside as well. But that's looking good. So the next area is the floor, which obviously has been clamped in place to keep everything in line. It's been a really good day today. I've managed to finish the day by welding that section of floor back in. So that is looking really good. So I'm really pleased with that. Tomorrow I can grind down the welds and carry on with the valance closing bit, I suppose you'd call it. Okay, so I've just reviewed the footage and I've realised I've missed a few little bits out. Not much, but I think it's worth just having a catch up, and then we'll close this video. So that floor was welded in place in the last video, but what you can see here, if I zoom in, I've actually put a reinforcing panel over that area there. That is how the original was. So I've decided to replicate that. I've also decided not to put the valance closing panel in yet, because I'm going to have to lower the card down and then turn it the other way up so I can repair the other corner. So that is that repair done. Everything's looking quite nice now, and I'm quite pleased with how that has all gone. The underneath of the light also went very nicely, as did the little panel up there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have enjoyed it, please subscribe, and there will be more coming soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.